I'll kick it off, and if you come up with anything online, feel free to chime in, come off mute. So Valerie had a closing this week. So congratulations, Miss Valerie. Anna has a new escrow. Anna's an agent on our team, right? So congratulations, Anna. Luis has 3 escrows going right now on our team. Yeah. And then escrow, I think his total escrow count currently right now is up to 5. Homeboy's got 5. Yeah, we're going to Misha. Janae had her first closing late last week, Friday last week. So first closing ever in real estate. So give it up for Miss Janae. I don't see Amber, but
Hey, Johnny, I thought things were slow.
I know, exactly. Exactly. And Amber had her first closing. So let's give it up for Miss Amber as well. So real quick, I want to share this quick story on Amber's closing, how she got it. She was driving through the neighborhood. She saw a home. She's like, oh my gosh, it looks like those people are getting the home ready to sell. This is exactly what one of my clients would be interested in. So she walked up, talked to the homeowner. She's like, actually, we have an agent. We're just prepping to put it on the market. And so she connected with the agent and they put together the deal off market, never even hit the market. And that's how she got in this. Isn't that a great story? Yeah. All right. So real quick, we do have some upcoming events. Want to make sure that you're all well aware of them.
Hey, Johnny.
Yo.
This is my friend, Amy Tremaine. She just came over from KW.
Welcome, Amy.
Fabulous coach, fabulous agent, fabulous person.
Yeah.
Fabulous all around. Nice to meet you, Amy. Thanks for coming. Anybody else have any guests that they would like to introduce?
I'd like to introduce Artem. Artem has been in the business for a year. Sure, just a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm currently with brokerage. I'm just looking for other opportunities and looking more to grow.
Awesome, man. You're in the right spot. Welcome. All right. So, Mariah, you always have some. Tell me something good. Is there anything that you want to share? Or are you good?
I mean, I closed on that house in the Parkway in Folsom.
Yay!
And we're starting construction in a month, so I'm excited.
Congratulations. All right. So, we do have a couple of big events coming up that you do not want to miss. If you walk away from nothing else from this morning meeting, there's 2 things you got to remember. 1, next week, we are not meeting at 10 o'clock. We are not meeting at 10 o'clock. We're meeting at 9 a.m. 9 a.m., same place, different time. So Brent is going to be here in person, live and in person at 9 a.m. And we're going to be doing an EXP rally kickoff. So you don't want to miss it. You want to see Brent. We're going to hang out. We're going to go from about 9 to 10, and then we're all going to head over to the second event, which is the EXP rally at CATA. So it's going to run from 11 to 3. Food will be provided. Make sure you get your tickets. You can go to expsacrially.eventbrite.com or scan the QR code on the screen. It'll take you there. So we're clear. 9 o'clock next Thursday is is when this meeting starts, and Brent will be. He's flying all the way from Puerto Rico. He's excited to see you guys. He cannot wait. He's waking up early. So that way, not only is he coming here, but he's gonna go to the rally, but we're gonna do a little pre-kickoff. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So those 2 things. And then of course, coming up shortly after that, November 16th, we have our 2024 business planning event where we're flying Burl Workman out. I've seen Rob print out the workbooks. They look like this user manual for a car. So much. He's going to go over so many great details on how we can dial in our business for 2024. It's crazy that we're already planning for next year, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to miss that. That's coming up November 16th. Any questions on the event? We all good? So
Can we invite guests?
only you need to, like that's a requirement. Yeah, absolutely. So the price for the business planning event is free. Please make sure you bring a guest. Like how Tom has a guest here, Mike has a guest. Like bring guests, the more the merrier. We want to pack that room, 1, because it's fun, and 2, because agents are going to need this information. 2024 is shaping to be the hardest year in real estate in probably the last decade, if not longer. So our friends, our coworkers need to be at this event. You do not want them to miss this event. Good question. Thanks, Tom.
Johnny, if people want to get a text reminder about the time change for next Wednesday's and the next Thursday's meeting, how would they do that?
A text. Yeah, so
We have a QR code.
so we have a fantastic QR code that we can throw up there. Steph, got that QR code ready. So we'll make sure that that gets up there before the end of the meeting. Just, Steph, can you reach out to Crystal? So when you get it up there, so we can pivot to that. While Steph is throwing up that QR code, so you can all be updated about the time change for next Thursday, let's bring our lender, our esteemed lender, to the front of the room. Mr. JJ Mack, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, good to see you. As always, I'm JJ Mack here with American Pacific Mortgage, branch manager, loan officer, and I wanted to confront the elephant in the room. Rates got to 8%, right? And so, yeah, right. So they came down a little bit, but we're here, right? We're at this point, and who knows? They could go higher. But I wanted to share some good news, and there's a little bit of bad news, but I want to share some good news about what interest rates mean when they get to this level. And so what does that look like? There is huge opportunity in the market right now. And we need to be sharing this opportunity with our clients. It's okay, she can sit there. No worries. I can grab another seat. Yeah, you're good. There's huge opportunity in the market right now. So I want you guys to be able to share this with your clients, go back to them, because we all know what's going to happen when rates come down, right? We all know that there's going to be demand and the prices are going to go up like crazy. And so this is tough because buyers are fighting higher interest rates and the lower inventories they're currently seeing. So a lot of those buyers, what they're doing is they're taking a step back. They're saying, I'm going to wait, I'm going to hold off. And then we need to be able to go back to our buyers and say, let's zig while the others are zagging, right? Because if we can get our buyers to purchase now, they're going to have a much better opportunity to do that, especially as a first-time home buyer. So make sure that when you're going out there with your clients, you're not being the agent that's telling them, yeah, interest rates are high. That's tough. But maybe we should hold off for a little while. Or let's not say anything at all. Make sure you give them the information they need in order to make the wise decision to purchase now instead. And so also, as you guys know, it's that time of the year again, right? It's the holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
And when that happens, sellers have a better, there's going to be a better opportunity for buyers because sellers are going to be more likely to potentially come down on their prices.
Yeah.
You know, so there's going to be a little bit more inventory out there, less buyers, as we know, want to buy in this time. So there's going to be more opportunity for your buyers to get in on this time of the market. So bad news, as you know, there's an affordability issue right now we have, but don't let that distract from the buyers that can't qualify. It is scary right now. It is a tough time, but that is going to also bring us into bad news and good news both. This market isn't going to last forever, right? And just like Johnny said, it's going to be a tough year next year. It's not going to last forever. Make sure those buyers know that at the time of when next year does come around, it's going to be very difficult for them to purchase homes because all this pent up demand. And I was just talking to Johnny yesterday. We have to bring another person on. We just don't have the manpower to take all these clients that we're pre-approving right now. They're all sitting on the sidelines. So make sure your buyers know this is the opportunity. This is the time. So how do we do that? You need to be energetic. Right. You need to vibrate, you know, this electricity to other people, because if you aren't, somebody else will. Yeah. Or what even worse, nobody will, and they'll sit on the sideline just like everybody else. But if you can go in, I'm going to tell you a story. I just popped in my head. When I went, when I was about to get married, my future missus and I went to go get a mattress at a mattress store. We were ready to splurge, right? We wanted a nice king size mattress. I walked into the store and this guy approached us and he was kind of yawning and he had bags under his eyes. He just wasn't looking like he wanted to sell a mattress. And he completely, you know, and I didn't buy a mattress that day. He completely just, you know, I took my step out of that because it's like, I guess I don't need one. I was ready to buy. I was ready to spend a couple $1,000s. This guy made it to where I could earn him a commission. I didn't buy one that day. I went back the next week and there was somebody else that came up. He radiated energy and it allowed me to want to purchase that mattress that time. We need to be those people in this market. Yeah. We need to let those people know this is the time to buy and here's why. So when those clients come to you, when you send to your lender, make sure the lender's radiating that energy, make sure you're radiating that energy so they can go back together and want to purchase a home. Yep. So don't let the 8% interest rates get in your head. Don't let it get in your buyers' heads. You're gonna see it all over social media and all this stuff. But if you have questions, if you would like to chat about this, let me know. I'm happy to help. Without further, is there any questions? Anything I can answer at this time for any of you guys?
Started hearing about the 5% for multifamily. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, great question. So Fannie Mae just recently released the 5% program. So it used to be between 15 to 25% you would need to put down if you're buying multifamily units. So now you can go as low as 5% down. You guys heard your house hacking, right?
Yep.
This is an opportunity for your clients to be able to put 5% down, live in one side, and then rent out the others. So if you have a client that doesn't have the money, that doesn't qualify, you know, for that particular home, maybe they should look at multifamily units, right? Maybe they feel like they don't qualify in their own heads, and they don't feel like they can purchase a home because the payment's just too high. But maybe if there was somebody else living in the same, you know, duplex or whatnot, they would then be able to use some of that income to offset that monthly payment. So it's a huge opportunity. One more thing, you guys have heard of the 1% down program.
Yep.
You know, you can get, you know, you have to put 3% down, but then 2% is granted to you from the other lenders. We've had that for some time, but we've actually now just partnered. So it used to be like through other banks that we had to go through and broker this out and whatnot. So we actually now direct through Fannie Mae can do that loan program. So American Pacific Mortgages now can do it directly through Fannie Mae, so we can write a super short escrow. There is some it's like a $91,000 income limits here in Placer, Sacramento County that you have to abide by, and the loan amount can only be like can't remember the exact one. I'll have to give it to you guys. 275, yeah, it's like 275, 280, something like that.
But knows, Boston knows.
Yeah, exactly. It's all that matters. So, but if you guys have anything like that, it's a great program. We have so much collateral that we can give you. So if you guys are looking for any type of, you know, stuff to bring to your open houses, if you're door knocking, whatever you might be doing, let me know. There was a guy here last week, Nick. I don't see him this week, but we just made some flyers for him that were based off the FHA ADU program that I presented last week. So if you guys want anything specific, happy to make those for you. We got all sorts of marketing that we can put out there. So let me know. You can reach me by shooting me a text message. Is usually easiest. It's 916-390-2463. You can also find me on Instagram. It's just JJ Mac Team. I post all sorts of stuff there of education and whatnot. So, but if there's anything I can do for any, yeah, go ahead.
That 5% down for the multi-unit, that's only occupied?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So there's some other programs that we can look at for investment, but it will be a little bit more.
1 to 4 units or what?
2 to 4, yeah.
It's 1 to 4 for multifamily. No, but that's a great. I mean, that's how Don and I bought our first 3 properties.
Oh, I did.
Was his house hack. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
and
you
then I
bought,
started a duplex, and then now I have a single family, but I'm fixing it up and I'm gonna turn it into a rental, but that's kind of my game.
and you were probably able to put FHA 3.5 or 5 or where
I
did you?
did FHA for my duplex, my commission was 2.5, the seller paid all my closing costs. In January 2021, I bought my house that I'm in right now. I did, it was a 5% down, my commission was 3%, and the seller paid my closing costs. I bought that house for $9,000 out of pocket. I bought my duplex for $3,400 out of pocket.
That's sweet. Hey, that's why we're in this industry, right? Awesome stuff. Awesome. All right, JJ. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, JJ. All right, so there's JJ's number, and off to the right in the chat box is the realtor code. Can you guys, is that going to work for you? Do you want me to blow it up? This is if you want the text message to be reminded to show up and see Brent 9 o'clock next Thursday. Is this good? Blow it up. All right. Maybe.
No, it came in confusing.
You got an iPhone, it works, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, freaking Android's out there now. I'm Steve. You guys good, or do you want me to blow it up? Okay, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, let us know. But moving on, And then there's JJ's number as well. Moving on. Share my screen. Oh, there it is. Golly. That was really big. All right. Well, we're going to be going over today. The subject matter for today is CMAs. If I had I'm getting blown up right now about agents wanting to know how to run CMAs. And here's the reason why it's so important. Here, let me change the camera so you're not looking at my forehead. The reason why it's important to be doing CMAs right now is because it's a great way to add value to your clients and to your prospective clients without like having to like spend any money. So you can do so many of these so fast, and we're going to go through exactly how we CMA. Because what you can do, if you had a client who's thinking about selling and they're like, I'm going to wait till spring, I'm going to wait till fall. Well, what you want to do is you want to reach out to them, do the CMA, and start providing them manual market updates. So this is a good practice for you to not only become aware of what's happening in the market, but also provide value to your clients. So if you were doing a CMA a day, on average, we're finding that somewhere around 16 CMAs equate into one listing. So if you're doing a CMA a day for the next 30 days, that's about, on average, you might get more, you might get less, but 2 listings. Who would like 2 extra listings in the next month? Okay. Okay. So you want to be doing the CMA a day. This was taught to me by the legendary coach Bill Pipes. So we're now sharing it with you. But CMA a day. And so here's how it works. A couple things too before we get into CMA is look at the price reductions. This is MLS wide.
Front.
1,884.
So,
when you're
we
Denise,
need
you
to
have a
sit
question?
down. Sorry.
Stephanie,
Hear you. We can't hear you. I don't think any of us can.
oh, Steph muted everybody. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, so when you're talking 1,884 people did price reductions last month. It's in the last quarter. This is last week, MLS wide. And this is right when you log into your dashboard, you can see this information. New listings, there's 2,507 opportunities for your buyers to go out and look at new homes in the last week. Okay, this is only 7 days ago. Just want to touch on that. Like, if you're feeling like the market's rough, the market is rough. I'm not trying to, this isn't rainbows and unicorns, but there are silver linings. The JJ offers, and just right there, 1,804 price reductions. So how do you CMA? So I have a little form that I go through every single time, and we're going to do it on the property 3225. How do you pronounce this? Adelaide Loop in Roseville. All right, so the first thing I do is, this is going to be recorded, so we're going to go through this, pretty quickly, and it's recorded, so you can always watch it later. But so save your questions, write them down, and we'll go over them at the end. I Google it, because guess what your clients are doing? They're Googling the properties, right? They're seeing what it's saying on the market. So I go to Zillow, I go to Realtor.com, I go to Redfin, and then there's 2 other sites that. Are you guys familiar with Homes.com? Everybody have a profile on Homes.com? If you don't, you need to create one. It's free. This is being pegged as the Zillow killer. They own Loop, CoStar. They own a ton of stuff. So Homes.com, make sure that you have your free profile there. So I'll just grab the address, copy and paste it. And then we all have access to something called RPR. This is through the MLS that we have access to. So your dues are paying for this. Actually, I think it's through the National Association.
Are you?
Yeah.
She got it, and I've never even.
The very bottom tab. RPR is very fast.
Yeah, it used to be a little bit more hokey, but it's gotten better in recent years. Okay. And then typically if it's a 5-star rate, this is their confidence. If it's 5 stars, it's fairly accurate. If it's anything less than 5 stars, just, hey, it's less than 5 stars. But just for those of you who aren't aware of what RPR is, again, it's free, but all your details are right there. It tells you year-over-year change in the estimated value of the home. It tells you if there's HOAs, what type of home it is. It's a single family, not a multifamily or a manufactured home. Tons of great stuff, all here, and you can scroll through, and it's almost like a quick title report. So what I do is I'll write all these home values down, because sometimes I'll be in the living room or the client will go, well, Zillow said my home was worth 900,000. Oh, that's interesting. You know, I just checked it this morning and it looked like it said it was 839. Looks like they must have updated it recently, right? Because either they're yanking your chain or they really know it says 839, right? So so we'll do 839. There, guys. This literally takes me like 15 minutes if it's a home like this. These are pretty easy. Was one realtor.com 839. Interesting. I'll also write down, sometimes they'll give rental information. Rent estimate, so $3,400. Because how many times have we been asked, you know what? If I can't get the price that I want, I'm going to go ahead and rent the property. Right? Okay. What do you think it'll rent for, by the way? Like, they always ask us that. I don't know why. I'm not a property manager, but they always ask me that. So at least I have a number there. And then if they go online, they can see, oh, what Johnny said, that's what Zillow said. So at least there's some consistency there. I'm not saying it's accurate. I'm not saying it's perfect, but at least you can come up with a number without putting too much thought and effort into it. Realtor.com. Redfin. This one's for sale. So that's why it's throwing 839 consistently. Is there a
The document actually says 834.
834?
Yeah.
We're looking for realtor.com. Sorry, Ben. Ben's a super nice guy. Can we pick a different property? Because now we're just gonna have to be like, pardon?
Real's estimate, is that it? What you're looking for?
Some of the sites, they hide it a little bit more, like their estimated value.
Yeah, so it says Real's estimate just under.
Okay, that'll work. Current list price. See, now I have to like guess. So this is where they're pulling their data from. And so they'll create an average of this if it's not listed, right? But now they're saying current list price is this. So what would you say? 790, which is probably what that would average out to roughly. 790 for realtor.com. Redfin. You guys can also do this for when you're working with buyers, making sure they're not overpaying for a home. Like say, hey, I want to make sure you do not overpay for the house. We're going to get you the best price, the best market value for the home. So you can also do this then. This is going to slow me down though. Okay, doesn't matter. You'll get the gist of it. So I'm just going to say that Redfin said 840. And then homes.com, let's see if homes.com also has like down here the it does the same thing as realtor.com where it pulls the data from different places. So like listing range, average home value for the area. Then it will also give you the schools, right? So we don't tell clients the school info. We give them we empower them to look it up on their own because that's considered steering. And then typically down here, they also have the same info. This is, all right, so we'll just say 900 is what it said on homes.com. And then the RVM, it says 762. So what I do then, because now I have realtors, typically Realtor, Redfin, Zillow, homes.com, and RPRs, is I will pull an average. So let's say one said 790, the other said 840, the other said 834. One was crazy when they said 900, and then one said 762. Divide that by 5 because it's from 5 different sources. We're finding the average here. So the average value across all the major portals that somebody could reasonably look at is 825. We just pulled a quick CMA, And we know when we go in that living room and we're talking with the client, probably we're looking at the same data they've looked at as well. That makes sense? Cool. So now that we have that, what I'll do is I'll hop back over here and then again, I'm just filling out this sheet. I'm just filling out the sheet. And so I will hop on tax. We'll look up the real list. So at the very beginning, I copy and pasted from one website the address. So you'll see me just copy and pasting that same address. So this next process makes it super easy. And 95747. So it's 4 beds, 3 baths, 1 half bath. The square feet is 2765. The year built was 2020. It's a single family residence, like what RPR was saying. And the lot size, I always do this. So it says 5,876. Who knows the math on that? How many acres is that?
Like 0.14.
All right, so how you do it is, what's the number? What's the magic number?
43 something.
40, you're close. 43,560. So you take 5,876 divided by 43560. And I always go out 4 decimal points. 1, 3, 4, 8. Because 1, 3, 4, 8, because the clients are like, oh, it's like 1.5 acres. And I'm like, no, bro, it's 1.38. So anyways, so sorry, I'm getting a little salty. So what I do is I click print and then it'll download it. If you're using Chrome, it'll download it. And I'll just throw it up here. And it's here. And I'll print this and I'll bring it with me to the listing appointment, or I can download it and email it to the client. And so then the value in this is I confirm the details with, hey, the county record is showing 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. Does this look right? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, and then here's some financing information, and then you have a fantastic lot. It's always a fantastic lot, no matter where it is. You have a fantastic lot in a great location. Okay, it's always a fantastic lot in a great location.
Same thing that you can find in the tax on your MLS.
This is realist.
Okay.
This is realist. It's the same. It's the same thing. And so again, this is stuff you all have access to. These are not special tools. And then I'll pull up the trends. And it's 95747. So we will look at the dip of 95747. Click show chart. It'll show the zip up there, so you know you got it. Click show numbers. So there was the chart's kind of meaningless without the numbers. And then I hit print. And I just check all 5. Just default to the 5. Hit create report. It downloads it. Again, if I'm in Chrome, it's the only one I can speak to because it's the only one that I've really used. And then it'll be right there. So now I have the realist tax report from MetroList. And then I have the trend vision report as well. So this is providing some interesting data. Okay. So now what you can do is we hop back over to the MLS. And if you have a lot of, the last thing I'll do too is I always look it up and see when the last time was that it sold in the property. So this is a newer home. It hasn't sold, on the MLS before. But I will select the property. And I'll do a 1-page agent report. Because then there's just some interesting information here. Sometimes like it's it'll help you write your listing description, just communicate some things that you may not know about the area. You may be a local expert, but maybe they know something about a park or a school or something in development. Like you pick up some information here that you really hunt for and go around extra. So now we have the realist tax report. We have the trend graphics, and then we have the last time this property sold, or at least was listed on the MLS. It also helps you know if it canceled. Like if you're going into an appointment and they've expired before, like you kind of know they may not really like real estate agents because the last guy didn't do the job, or the last gal, or they could be beat down, and you got to be better, right? And so it just gives you some context to the situation. Okay. And so now that we got that, this is the easiest way I know of to do a CMA. So we've got the averages. We know what they're seeing online, but what is it in reality? So we throw that same address in that I copied 20 minutes ago. We go to so this is all in the interactive map. Then I go over to search criteria. And again, there's 1,000 ways to CMA. This is how I do it. I'm not saying this is the only way, but this is almost just like muscle memory for me. So I always go back, I always click back a month, even if it's the end of this current month, I always go back a month because I never forget to do it. And then I used to only go back 6 months, but right now what's happened in our market in the last year is it's gone up and it's gone down. So actually like where the market was a year ago is kind of similar to where it is today. So to get more data, I'll actually go back a year. So now there's a ton of dots, right? So here, and then at this point, who here hates when the freaking MLS like freezes and shuts down and does that? Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh. I know Valley's running a. I know when the MLS is down. I know when the MLS is down in our house. When I hear curse words coming out of the office. Like Valerie's just like throwing things. I know the MLS is down. And so I take that same address that I copied 20 minutes ago. Actually, Valerie doesn't curse, but she's like, shoot.
Exactly.
But I know. But I save it. I save it as a safe search. So boom, like we haven't done anything, we haven't selected anything, but it's in there. And then you go back and you can go to save searches and you can actually search by what the address was that you put in. It makes it really easy. So if you get halfway through this process and you turn back around, like I'm telling you, this will save you a whole lot of heartache and your blood pressure will stay at a healthy level. So how do we, so the home is a 3.5, 2,700, almost 2,800 square feet built in 2020. So what I will do is I will actually just start, some people will draw, like a radius or a map around it. I don't do any of that. I just start clicking around. And so I said, okay, 3, 2, I'm just trying to get some data for what's happening in the area, because this is what they're seeing. They're not looking at the MLS. They're not looking, hey, that house down the street's a 3, 2. We're only seeing what they're seeing, right? I want to look at it through their eyes. And so kind of getting an idea. Okay, here's a 3, 4, 2 bath. It's still smaller. Okay, so now I'm kind of like getting an idea. Here's their competition. The actives are always the competition. Oh gosh, I see the house and I'm like, okay, that's what they're going to be comparing themselves to. That's what they want, right? Here's another active on the market a short period of time. Okay, so kind of know what's going on, and then this is where I start drilling it down. So they have a 4-bedroom. So let's do, actually what's super fun when there's lots of data like this, sometimes what you can do is put in the exact square footage and it'll pull up the model match. So like, let's see if it works. 2765. There's a lot of data, like in a cookie cutter neighborhood, 6.5. And then let's see if it worked. I hoped it wouldn't, it did not. But sometimes there would be like some sales out here and you're like, okay, model match, model match, model match, model match. Really makes it easy. Yeah. Unfortunately, it did not work this time. So let's get those numbers out of there. But typically you want to go 10% plus or minus the square footage is an easy way to kind of narrow this down. So if it's 27, let's say that's 3. Yeah. So I like to go a little bit wider, and if I still need to narrow it, then I'll narrow it. So let's do 2,300 to 3,000. Let's see what that cleared up some. And so now, oh boom, that's really close. It's a 4-bedroom, 5-bath, 2,800 square feet, closed. All right, so now that's close enough for government work. This one is 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. It's bigger. It's got an extra bedroom and bath. Let me see if it's like, yeah. So it's a half bath. So this is actually like a 4. See, yeah. So 4.5. So let's just include it just to see. And I'm just kind of going around 5 bedroom, 5 bath, 2,800. See, it looks like those bigger houses are going for 750. I'm very curious to see 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 2,900 square feet. This one's active. Yeah, they did a price reduction. Got a lot of open houses.
Wow. That also resort does it.
Yeah, it might be.
On there.
It might be.
Next year.
It'll look like that.
See, I just don't see how they're gonna justify their price.
Yeah.
Like when you start clicking around like this, it's pretty eye-opening. Okay, here's something similar, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's a little bit smaller, but it closed in almost 2 months. For 720, it closed recently. You can see, okay, it looks similar. It's a new home. Looks gorgeous. I live there. The goal is, man, they got. Then when I see a house like this, I'm like, dang, who listed that? Who got that? Man, sir, hats off to you, sir. But 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. I wouldn't include that one. That just seems like way too out of the ballpark. But what you're looking for is you're trying to find actives, pendings, and solds. And if you think you're going to have to fight them on price, you can actually book buyers, because some sellers just don't understand those exist. But as we saw earlier, they definitely do. So
Johnny,
yeah.
can you clarify, when you pull up expireds, do you include them in the CMA, or do you have a separate list so it doesn't affect the numbers of your CMA? And so you can say, okay, you want to price it there, here's what happens to homes that price it there, they go into the graveyard.
Yeah. I always include it. I would just, if I knew it was going to be an issue, I would toss it in there. Let's see if there's anything. Here's one over here. It's on the market 1.5 years. Sorry, just to see what it looks like, I'll throw that in there. But you're looking for active pendings and close are the ones that you want, because actives are your direct competition. Pendings indicate where the market is at right now. Close is what the market already did. So you want to articulate that to your clients. So anyways, then I do two different versions. I clicked on the CMA button. I do the CMA landscape PDF. Hit go. And then it would show active, pendings, and closed. And then because we included expireds on this one, it shows expireds down here. So you can see they're on the market. They started high, they dropped it, didn't sell. The averages for these homes, 2,700 square feet, similar size lot, similar year built. They started higher. The actual close price was around 735, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And so what it looks like in your market is homes are selling for about 3%, 2.5% below the list price. All right, so this is my little cheat sheet. I don't even show this to them because it doesn't have pictures. It's not pretty. This is just really easy for me to kind of reference. And so I would print that out. And then the pretty thing that I do, so before I had the general search parameter set up and I made a save search, right? Now I have the comps picked. And so I'm going to go in here and save it again. It's going to ask me to override it, and boom. Now, if my computer melts down, if something happens with the MLS, I know my search is safe. So then I did the PDF search, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in here to the Cloud CMA. We're all familiar with Cloud CMA. This is okay. So you'll have to go in there. You'll have to set it up, put your information in. But once it's set, it's just a simple click away. And then that same address I copied a long time ago, I'm going to put in here. I put it as the name of the report. It pulled in all those comps that I had selected. I click fetch listings. Click customize report. And then I have my Tom Daves template set up right here. And so I'm ready to go. And then I just hit publish report.
I think it's 100 days.
You gotta know people. You gotta know. It's just how I just have gotten rid of all the fluff. It's just the number. So I'll show you what it looks like. And so if I know Roseville, I'll have internet there. I'll make sure this is pulled up on my computer. I'll have the live pulled up. Because some people really like going through here and clicking through it and seeing the homes on the map and seeing more than just one picture. But most of the time that's not really needed, and your computer can die, the internet could be bad, you lose the flow of the listing appointment if hey, let me boot up my computer. So 100% of the time what I do is I bring the PDF version and it's the same thing. So here's your home, the reds are the solds in the area, the green is your competition. This is an expired. This is a home that failed to sell, right? And so this is what they look like. Again, there's no fluff, there's no real photos, there's no like about me, like we're already going through this. If you're emailing them, if this is a client that you're prospecting, they probably already know a little bit about you. Like, you're not just blindly sending this to some stranger. That's my point. Okay. And so go through, and then at the very end, here are some fun things to look at. All right, so it looks like the floor of the lowest your home would reasonably sell for would be 720. The highest is 760. Your home could reasonably expect to sell somewhere in there. Average days on market looks like 70. So that means it takes 70 days to get an offer, another 30 days to close. So you could get paid in about 100 days, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Homes in your neighborhood are selling on average. So because we go through the trend graphics, right? And homes are selling on average for 99% of sales price to list. But because you have a more desirable home, it's newer and it's in a nicer community, and there's just fewer people that can afford that. So right now homes are selling with interest rates where they're at, about 7% below list. And then this shows that the longer they wait, like the homes that are selling typically for top dollar are selling fast. The longer they wait, you can see original list price, sales price, list price, sales price. And it just has some great info in here for them. So then this is Cloud CMA.
I don't know if even the page that showed that.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to see that.
Time to sell.
Time to sell. It's just a
Automatically, or that was
Mhm.
just the generic one?
this is just generic, but
Okay.
you can select it or unselect it. And then there's just some generic, like, I mean, if it's been a while since you sell a home or you have never sold a home before, there's some interesting information here. So for us, it's kind of like, we talk about this daily. So some good stuff in there, but is this a little bit different, or at least provide like another perspective on how you can provide your client to the CMA?
I definitely want to get the recording if I can send it out to our organization, because they don't get reminders about this meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
So it'll be on,
it'll
it'll be Brent Gove's YouTube page.
This is on for the Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So this will all be on Zoom. So just to recap, you check out all the portals, you write down the information, you look up the realist tax reports, you look up the trend graphics based on zip code, and then you use the interactive map to pull the CMA, and then just don't forget to save it.
What did you do with RPR? So there's a different type of report out of RPR, right? I didn't see what you were.
So RPR, I just use it for the number,
Oh, okay.
like similar like Zillow's number. I just use, because I'm trying to find if it's only two, like sometimes homes.com or Zillow or even realtor.com or Redfin won't give you a value.
Yeah.
And so then you have two values. Like an average of two values is not,
Right, yeah.
it's not a good average. Yeah, it's like a tall guy and a short guy. They're 6 feet, but he's 4 foot, another dude's 7. So
Okay, no, I saw you doing it earlier. I just was like, thought you were gonna pull the report out of RPR.
No.
Amy, weren't you saying that the report out is amazing? Yeah.
Yeah.
RPR for
On it
marketing,
to get to the cloud.
use the marketing peak. At the very top, there's a little marketing button, and it'll give you marketing pieces as well as it'll AI write your.
Market updates. Yeah, RPR has a ton of cool stuff in it. So, yeah.
Johnny, did you download or input the PDFs that the reports that you do into the CMA? Or did they just come up on that?
So I clicked view PDF.
Yeah.
And then it where did I put it? When I clicked view PDF, it opened up this window, and then you can download it, but I always print it.
But you had to create how you wanted the reports to flow.
Oh, the original
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah.
So we can go back to customize. So I made the royal blue and black theme, whatever that means. I have no cover. I use the default font. And then
on the left side, you added that, right? You can add.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so here.
You must have done it.
Custom pages.
Correct. I just honestly just deleted a bunch of stuff. Because you can see how short it is, and then there's all these options over here. But I just made it short. Time to sell was the one I think That show the original price.
That's really cool.
I think that's on the paid one, but they do have one that's a triangle that I use a lot, and it shows your pricing, it shows market value and the
Yeah.
percentage of people that show up, and if you price a home at market value, only 60% of the market is gonna show up. But if you price it 10 to 50% under, 90% of the market
Yeah.
shows up. That's actually how I learned
That's
my entire pricing
Yeah.
strategy.
triangle of
Yeah.
value, yeah.
And I think, yeah, that's how I price.
That's from the old kid at UCMA.
It's actually from, yeah.
Yeah. There's the classic triangle, right? There's just so many things in here, and if you can tailor fit it to be like your presentation style. I see a couple people in the chat, want to make sure everybody's cool. Johnny, I'm muted. This is great. We'll definitely rewatch it. Awesome, Dylan. Glad you're loving it. All right. So what questions or comments for the good of the group do you have on this?
So you only use RPR to break the tie if you have a high and low for a price opinion?
I just use it. I just look at the RVM, Realtor Value Matrix, whatever they call it. So I don't know if you were here at the very beginning, but basically I look at Zillow, Realtor.com, RedsFanHomes.com, and RPR, and then I find their estimated value. I write it all down because it's probably what the client's looking at, and then I average those 5 out. And so this is just another number, and it's also so the psychology behind it is we're using things that they can find on their own, and we're also bringing to the table some things that they can't find on their own because they're going to have access to this. So if you're bringing them a bunch of info they have, and why are you a good agent to sell my house?
Don't you normally give a range? So rather than giving a specific price, it's important to give a range.
Correct.
'Cause
Yeah.
that opens it up for more discussion.
And honestly, you shouldn't really give them like a price. They should
Right.
pick the price.
Yeah.
Someone told me actually in my Reaper's Bill, she taught us to do that. Gary and I had Bill or something this year, but she says, so what do you think that your home is worth? How much do you think it's worth? Because you want to know before you tell them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Find out what they think it is. And then she's like, well, let's see what the market says, or let's see what it says online. And she shows them Zillow and Realtor.com and whatever. And then you show them the actual comp because those aren't always accurate. But Zillow knows what they're looking at online, so it's the same thing.
Mhm.
And I thought it was brilliant to say, well, what do you think? Because we're not telling them the price. She helps educate them so they select the price.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that, if you pick the price and it doesn't work, it's your fault, but
Yes,
if they
but
pick the
they
price
pick
based off of being educated on the market,
Right.
and it doesn't work.
Right.
It matters who says it.
Yeah, they own it, too, they own it, and they're like involved in that process.
Otherwise, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
You can't do this.
So a good point. Always give them a range. I think there's even a page in there where it's like on whatever that was, Cloud CMA, where it'll like in big bold letters, we think your home is worth X. Like you notice that was not in my presentation. The only thing that isn't even close is a range based off the comps. Here's the lowest comp, here's the highest comp. So definitely agree. You want to give them a
And
price.
based on the condition of their home, I mean, when you get there, maybe they were like, oh, what's a fixer? And you get there and you're like, okay, well, what's a custom house?
Yeah, I like to.
We have that in Austin. I'm like, this is not a fixer.
If I've never seen it, I pulled low end, mid grade, and high end.
Yeah.
And I pulled the high end too, because they always compare their home to the high end.
The real trick is
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, you've probably done more of these presentations than the room combined. So any suggestions or tips on how to present the value or anything that we covered?
Yeah, just never quote a price. Always go with the range, and I like the fact, always, gee, well, how much, it's funny because when they call in or you're on the phone, and what's your timing, where you go, and tell me a little bit about your home. Are there any improvements needed, or have you completed any repairs? And do you have a ballpark idea how much you feel the home is worth? And it's crazy because 9 times we have no idea how much. Oh no, I know, but I mean, just a range. Well, we're not sure really. And then what I do is I just kind of pull up Zillow. I go, well, Zillow says 720. Oh no, it's worth at least 750. You kind of have a point of reference, and then when you're at the presentation with them, I always just go with the range. If it's a big range between where you think it is and then it's like, yeah, well, you're within the range, but if it's, you know, if they're right on, yeah, you're definitely within the range. And just don't quote a price. I just don't.
Yeah. Nothing good comes from it.
Like, if I might add something to that too, is that when you get to that point and you're trying to decide a range or property value, I always ask them, well, if you were a buyer, based on this data and all the comparable markets, you know, properties on the market, which one would you choose based on price?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
put them in the buyer's
Yeah.
shoes, going through their house,
yeah.
because they're gonna be out
They're
buying
gonna
a
be-
house too,
yeah.
most likely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just had one, well, we just had one close on Monday that it was the same thing. It's actually my sister, so it was even more difficult to work with.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
That's a family deal.
Yeah.
That's a family
Deal, and I had to deal with simply other people, her husband and anyway, but yeah, they were buying a house, and so it helped actually, because they're buying a house in Washington. And everything that happened, they're like, oh, wow, you know, it made them nicer to the other person. Because they were like dealing with their sale, and they're like, oh, is this what we can expect? And, you know, and I'm like, yeah, this is how it works, you know, this is the same
Yeah.
thing, it'll be the same thing there.
Yeah.
You wanna be sensitive to these buyers who are the same as you, you know?
Treat us the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Chris-
Another thing I do is just because my list price is always not the value, I tell them, your list price is a marketing piece. It's not the ultimate value of the property.
Yes.
If you list your home a little bit under market, then you're gonna get multiple offers, you're gonna get better terms.
Right.
So the marketing piece, the list price is not your value, it's a marketing piece, and that's like really
100%.
helpful. When you put it into perspective for you.
Most definitely. Chris, would you have a question?
So on the flip side of that, if you had a buyer interested in this property, how would you write an offer on this home?
Where's Valerie? How would you write an offer on this, sweetheart? Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Way off.
Yeah.
I mean, but in all reality, I would try to get the buyer to make an offer that would at least get considered by the seller. So not something that's like, we're gonna offer $100,000 less than this listed for, you know, they're just gonna ignore you.
First thing I would do though is call the listing agent and see what the
Oh,
story
yeah.
is. Get the information you can, to the listing
Yeah.
agent. And then from there, you know, approach your buyer with a plan.
It depends on what kind of market you're in. I mean, if it was 2 years ago, it's a very different offer than today. I mean, multiple offers over asking versus, you know, crickets. Like you said, listing agent, absolutely.
How long is that?
I have to ask my buyer, okay, what is the top offer you can do that if I turn you down, you'd be fine?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
that's really good.
And they came up with a price that they were, and if they say yes or no, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, was this helpful? Was this good? I had some fun. Tell me what you got.
So sending out 5 of these today, what's your script was a seller? Do you just send it out to them and then call them afterwards? Hey, I sent you a home equity report.
Yeah.
What-
So something along the lines of, hey, it just depends on the situation, right? If you're like, if you're in good rapport with them and they answer the phone, then that's great. If not, then you can send them an email saying, hey, I called you because I wanted to let you know that in your inbox is a home equity report. I drafted up courtesy of you. I looked at home values. I manually pulled it. It's specific to your home. I'll reach out in a couple days and we can go over it. We can go over it then. Yeah. Something like that and follow up in a couple of days.
And that's just for, I was gonna ask that too, thank you, Tom, about you just for anybody, or are you targeting who you're sending it to? Like,
Yeah,
for
so-
a certain amount of time?
Yeah, so this is more like for your sphere or
Yeah.
for people that, like if you're paying for leads, like
Yeah.
leads that have come in. and you
Oh,
can
yeah,
submit,
that's.
You know?
Spirit.
CMA a day for a spirit.
CMA a day.
Yeah, the 16 one is honestly for the sphere, like
And do you email it to them or email it?
email it,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. I mean, it's better if you can meet them in person,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
something's better than nothing. I'm trying to open the discussion right here, because a lot of people may not be aware of what's happening in the market.
Yeah.
Because the phrase I hear all the time from Tom is the news likes to terrify rather than clarify,
Oh,
right? So we're trying to cut through that.
Yeah.
Well, I just have an idea. Like 100,000 agents left the market. And that means that there's probably a lot of orphan clients out there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think I pulled a list of all my transactions from the past, for my whole career. And I've got all the addresses that I listed, but somebody helped the buyer. This would be amazing to mail them
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
little note that says, maybe we lost touch.
Yeah.
We've lost touch, like they never broke for one.
Well, they might be like, I don't remember you, but yeah, actually, that's a thing. I don't know if you know who Girls with Credit is, but they're big now in EXP. They do, it's called a HERD report, home equity report. I don't know what the else is. Yeah, they totally did. But, and then they have everybody, you can go on to Amazon and buy these, just these flimsy little, envelopes, and it says, this is what you've been waiting for. I mean, there's so many different ones you can pick, but it's like, this is the thing you've been waiting for. It's black with gold, and you can open it up.
Beautiful.
It makes them want to open it. Yeah. Also, okay. Yeah, but I mean, it's literally, I mean, people post and like, I'm sending out all my HERS reports, and so now I'm gonna have to go do that.
Yeah. I've sold this home before. I can do it again.
Oh,
You know, yeah. So, all right, team. Well, thank you so much for coming up. 9 o'clock next Thursday. See you then.